Welcome to my channel. In this video you will witness a true story of horror story. Let's start the story. Detective Adamson had seen his fair share of horrors in his career, but nothing quite prepared him for the case of the Willow Street haunting. It began innocently enough, with a call to investigate a disturbance at an old Victorian house on the quiet Willow Street. Little did he know, it would lead him down a path of terror he could never have imagined. The house stood at the end of the street, its once grand facade now weathered and worn. Detective Adamson and his partner, Officer Ramirez, approached cautiously, flashlights in hand. As they stepped onto the creaking porch, a chill ran down Adamson's spine. Something felt off about this place. Entering the house, they were greeted by an eerie silence broken only by the sound of their own footsteps. The air was thick with dust, and the smell of decay hung heavy in the stale atmosphere. They began their search, moving from room to room, their flashlights cutting through the darkness like knives. In the living room, they found old furniture draped in dusty sheets, as if frozen in time. Ramirez shuddered as he pulled back one of the sheets, revealing a cracked portrait of a stern-looking man. "Creepy," he muttered, but Adamson brushed it off, his focus on the task at hand. As they ascended the staircase, the air grew colder, and the feeling of dread intensified. Adamson's instincts told him they were getting closer to the source of the disturbance. They reached the top of the stairs and entered a long hallway lined with closed doors. They tried each door in turn, finding nothing but empty rooms until they reached the last one at the end of the hall. As Adamson turned the handle, a sudden gust of wind slammed the door shut with a deafening bang. Ramirez jumped back, his heart pounding in his chest. Adamson pushed the door open slowly, revealing a room engulfed in darkness. He stepped inside, his flashlight illuminating the scene before them. The room was bare except for a single chair in the center, facing away from them. Ramirez hesitated, a sense of unease washing over him. "Maybe we should call for backup," he suggested, but Adamson shook his head. He had to know what was causing the disturbance, no matter the cost. They approached the chair cautiously, their footsteps echoing in the silence. Adamson reached out and turned the chair around, his blood running cold at the sight before him. Sitting in the chair was a lifeless figure, its eyes staring blankly ahead. But it wasn't just any figure, it was a perfect replica of Detective Adamson himself. A chill ran down Adamson's spine as he stumbled back in horror. Ramirez's voice broke through the silence, his words barely audible over the pounding of Adamson's heart. "What the hell is going on?" Before Adamson could respond, the room began to shake violently, as if caught in the grip of an unseen force. Books flew off shelves, furniture toppled over, and the walls seemed to groan in agony. Ramirez screamed, his voice lost in the chaos. Suddenly, everything went still. Adamson and Ramirez found themselves standing alone in the room, the lifeless figure gone without a trace. They exchanged a terrified glance, both knowing they had just witnessed something beyond comprehension. They fled the house, their minds reeling with fear and confusion. Adamson knew they would never be able to explain what they had seen, but one thing was certain, Willow Street held secrets far darker than they could have ever imagined. As they drove away from the house, Adamson couldn't shake the feeling that they had only scratched the surface of the true horror that lurked within its walls. And as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the deserted street, he couldn't help but wonder what other nightmares lay waiting to be uncovered in the darkness. This is our story today. If you liked the story, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video. We will meet tomorrow, God willing, in a new story.